All right, good morning, everybody. I just want to say thank you for joining us this morning. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. My name is Keismond Trammer, and I'll be your presenter this morning. We also have Sandra Perez with us today. And so Sandra will be fielding your questions from the chat today. If there's a question that she is unable to answer, then I'll just make sure that you get your questions answered during our Q&A session at the end of the presentation. We created these office hour sessions so that you can get your questions answered regarding the upcoming compliance deadline. We actually conduct these sessions leading up to every checkpoint so that you know exactly what needs to take place in order to be compliant. And so today is really about you. It's about making sure that you know exactly what you need to do in order to be
What's your
compliant
speaker
by
up?
the deadline. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen and then we will go ahead and get started. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, so I just have a few things that I want to cover this morning, and then we'll get into our Q&A session because that's what the office hours is all about, right? Making sure that you get your questions answered today. And so this morning, we're going to be focused on the upcoming August 31st NMSP compliance score deadline. As of today, we are approximately 23 days away from the deadline. And so just to give you a few stats, we have 48 associations that are currently out of compliance, and we have 50 associations that will be out of compliance within the next 20 days or less. So we have our work cut out for us within these next 23 days. But the good news is we are here to assist you. Our goal is to make sure that every association is compliant by the deadline, because the consequences of not being compliant is the AE and their board president getting called into a hearing at our upcoming business meetings in Chula Vista. And so we're here to help prevent those hearings from happening. And so my goal today is to make sure that we're all focused on what's important right now. As you know, we have 3 compliance checkpoints throughout the year, which is March 31st, August 31st, and December 1st. Leading up to every compliance deadline, we send out the preliminary scores to the AEs and their board presidents. The first communication is scheduled to go out to the AEs on Friday, August 15th. And then the second notification goes out to the board president a week before the deadline, which is on Friday, August 22nd. The communication that goes out to your board president will no longer include your NMSP score. We're only going to include the count of delinquent agents, because this is going to help prevent your board presidents from having a panic attack, right? Especially if your association is not at 97%. This year, the 31st falls on a weekend, and so the deadline for all associations to be compliant is Friday, August 29th. This means all associations must meet the compliance objective of achieving a 97% NMSP score on August 29th. And so as you are monitoring your score, please make sure you're not confusing your realtor score with the NMSP score. The compliance deadline is focused solely on your NMSP score. So what should local associations focus on leading up to the deadline? So you want to make sure that you're focused on your delinquent records and the records in the 30 to 15 day grace period, because these are the records that will have a negative impact on your NMSP score if they become delinquent. So what does that look like? So your delinquent records will appear in 2 sections on the BCT dashboard. Number 1, you can find your delinquent agents under the NMSP score. And then number two, you can find your delinquent agents in the delinquent section on the screen. These are the two places where you can view the list of your delinquent non-members. You also want to focus on your NMSPs in the 30 to 16 day grace period and the NMSPs in the 15 to 1 day grace period. These are the records that will ruin a compliance celebration because you can be at 100% today, and while we're celebrating tomorrow, you can be at 0% because we were only focused on the delinquent records and not the agents in the grace period. So again, we should all be focused on the agents in the delinquent section and those agents in the grace period that will be delinquent in the next 23 days. And so, honestly, your goal should be to never let your agents that are in the grace period become delinquent. This will help alleviate some of the stress on you and your brokers, right? Especially leading up to a deadline. But I do understand that it's easier said than done in some cases, right? Especially when you're dealing with large brokers, right? Now, if you do have agents that are delinquent, remember, you can access the list using option number one and option number two. This will allow you to access your list of delinquent agents and you can export it to an Excel spreadsheet where you can then send out the information to your brokers. Now, your brokers must receive a notification regarding their NMSPs. In the communication that you send to your brokers, you want to also include the options that are available to the broker when it comes to resolving the issues regarding their non-member agents, right? And so in order for the associations to become compliant, the broker will need to determine how their agents will be operating. And they also need to respond back to you by the deadline that you set. And so the broker will need to let you know if those NMSPs are going to be removed from the license, if the broker is going to pay the NMSP fee, if the agent is going to join as a realtor member, or if the agent is going to certify the agent as a LIFRO by signing the LIFRO certification form. Now, if the broker does not respond or take action by your deadline, then you want to send a final communication that says your membership will be inactivated on a specific date that you choose, that the association choose. Also, keep in mind, you never want to inactivate your brokers on a Friday. You don't ever want your brokers to go an entire weekend without being able to work, right? So you want to inactivate your brokers Monday through Thursday, but never on a Friday. And so, excuse me, as soon as you inactivate your brokers, your phones will definitely begin to start ringing the next day because those brokers will want access to zip forms, right? So, how can C.A.R. assist the associations leading up to the deadline? What can we do to help ensure that you're compliant on August 29th? So, here's what we're willing to do. If you have agents whose license status becomes licensed MBA and the record is still impacting your NMSP score, send us an email and we will add them to the DRE exemption list. If you have members that paid their dues and then become inactive for not completing their COE requirements or any other requirements, they will be added to the TRM exemption as long as they have a financial record on M1. If you have non-members with a financial record on M1 but still show, unpaid on the BCT, send us an email and we will add them to the paid exemption list. And so your role in this process is to send an email to both Sandra and myself and include the member's name, NERD's ID number, and you want to include the reason why we're adding them to an exemption. Please don't send us an email that says, please remove from the BCT with no other information. We do get those emails because now it's going to require more of our time to try and figure out why this agent should be removed from the BCT, right? Also, you want to make sure that these agents qualify for these exemptions by first checking their status. If we are adding someone to the DRE exemption, check DRE to confirm that their license status shows licensed MBA. If a member has paid their dues, but now they're inactive, check M1 to confirm that the financial record appears on M1. If you have non-members showing unpaid on the BCT and the broker paid the non-member fee, check M1 to confirm that the financial record appears on M1. Also, if you have agents that were non-members and now they are a LIFRO, but they're still appearing on the BCT as a non-member, please check M1 to confirm that they are appearing on M1 as an active LIFRO. So again, these are the steps that you should take, and these are the steps that we are going to take to assist the associations. So just a quick recap. So you want to make sure that you're focused on your delinquent NMSPs and your NMSPs in the 30 to 15-day grace period. Please send an email to me and Sandra for members that qualify for an exemption. And then last, never inactivate your brokers on a Friday. Since the deadline falls on a Friday this year, if you have to inactivate a broker to be compliant, you can inactivate your broker on Thursday, August 28th, which is the day before the deadline. That way, you should be getting a call on Friday from your broker, ready to resolve those member issues, right? And so these are the steps that every association should follow in order to be compliant on August 29th. So let's talk about the procedures that we follow after each deadline. So we are going to take a snapshot of the NMSP scores on Friday, August 29th at 1 p.m. Hopefully everybody is compliant by then. That is our goal, to make sure that all associations are compliant by 1 p.m. If all of the associations are not compliant, then we are going to take the final snapshot at 5 p.m. that day. Also, the leadership team will be notified of any non-compliant AORs on Monday, September 1st. And then non-compliant associations will receive a notification which will be sent to the AE and their board president during the first week of September regarding an upcoming hearing, which will be held at the business meetings in Chula Vista. Now, the good news is we haven't conducted a hearing for a few years now. So we actually have a good track record of helping associations to reach the compliance objective by the deadline. Now, this can only happen with your assistance. This means monitoring your NMSP score all the way up until we take the snapshot. So let's quickly talk about members transferring before the financial record is uploaded to M1. So what happens if a member transfers to another association before their financial record is uploaded to M1? Well, the member's record must be transferred back to the original association, and the financial record must be added to M1 before the record can be transferred back to the new association. So what needs to happen? So the original association will need to transfer the member's record back to their association. The original association will then upload the financial record to M1. Our finance department will process the financial record. Once the record is processed successfully, then the new association can transfer the record back to their association. So if these steps are not taken, then the monthly reconciliation report and the BCT will show the new association owes dues for the members. So local associations should always verify that a current financial record is present in the member's profile on M1 before initiating a transfer. When dues are collected, the financial record must be uploaded to M1, and the dues money must be submitted to C.A.R. within 15 days. And so here are just some key takeaways. You want to always verify that a current financial record is present in the member's profile on M1 before initiating a transfer. Always upload the financial record to M1 promptly when dues are collected. Also ensure payment is sent through e-commerce within 15 days. And then last, delays in processing can lead to issue with the member's dues transfer, also with the member getting access to zip forms and inaccurate dues reporting. All right, so hopefully that brought up some questions. And so now we are going to turn it over to you for some questions.
Keismond, Bobby's asking if they set the broker to inactive due to their deadline passing, if they should suspend all active agents in that broker's office.
The answer is yes. They should, because remember, members can't be realtor members without their broker being a member. And I will say that that can be a lot of work to do depending on, the size of the broker and the number of agents under them. So um, one of the things that we're also looking at is what happens if you inactivate the broker and you inactivate the office record as well. We're going to look and see if that removes those agents from the BCT. So again, to answer your question, yes, when you inactivate the broker, his or her agents must also be inactivated as well. Any other questions? You guys can actually,
Keismond?
yes.
Good morning, Jason Catalano, Contra Costa Association here in the Bay Area. Thank you for putting this on. Always nice to see you.
Hey, Jason.
In years past, it's always fallen on the 31st. So what I've gathered from our morning here together is it's the 29th at 5 o'clock is zero barrier. Do I have that correct?
That is correct. So the only time we will change the compliance deadline is when it falls on a weekend.
Okay, cool. And follow-up question, this is my last. I know a few weeks back we had some issue with the data. It was kind of flying around. We had brokers from other associations. We had honoraries, just people who had paid. Are you guys confident that all that is sorted out and our broker compliance dashboards are correct moving forward as we progress to the 29th?
I am. I don't want to put 100%, on that. But the only reason why I'm saying I don't want to put 100% on that is because we actually just transitioned from Rapatoni to IMUS, and so now we've successfully connected the BCT to IMUS. We are getting the data from M1 into our IMUS system, and so the data is looking much better than when we were running Rapatoni. And so our IT department and our programmers have really got it dialed in, but I can't say it's 100% yet, but it is looking good. If you come across any records that don't look right, please let us know immediately.
Yeah, and you guys have always been good about the little last minute to-dos and the tweaks in the system, so we do appreciate that. Thank you for taking my questions.
Oh, you're welcome, Jason.
Hi, Aaron, go ahead.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Keismond. This is Aaron
Hi.
Smith over with Sacramento Association.
Hi.
Hi, I had a question about the, I know you said that we need to notify the broker when they have outstanding people. I have a situation where a broker does not want to be notified of the outstanding people. He just wants to let his compliance officer do that. Is there some type of documentation that I could provide to him saying that you all are requesting from us that we notify them, and that's why we're sending the emails? We're not just trying to be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, is the broker willing to be CC'd on any communication that goes out?
They're going directly to him, the emails actually, but
Okay.
his compliance officer is intercepting them. He
Okay.
does not want either of them to get the emails, and it doesn't seem like that is a possibility. It seems like we have to notify him when people are out of compliance. That is a requirement. Just looking to see if I can find some documentation to back up why we're doing this.
Yeah, we don't have any documentation.
Okay.
But I do think it's important for the broker to be, in the loop. I mean, maybe if we're getting close to a deadline, and maybe the broker, is scheduled to be inactivated.
Mhm.
I believe the broker should be made aware of that information. And so even though he has someone that's handling compliance, maybe the last communication, goes to the person that's handling compliance, and you also CC the broker as well.
Okay.
I mean, we do want to make sure that we're meeting um, whatever the broker says they want to happen, and they're actually monitoring compliance. I mean, we do want to make sure we're meeting their needs, but I just want to make sure that we never inactivate a broker and they can come back and say, well, they never told me.
Yeah, or why, or who was outstanding was the
Yes.
reason why. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I understand that. And then also that's a good point, and I can make that to him as well. And then also my other question was, if I may, I know that our deadline is the 29th by 5 p.m., but when I'm doing my score, and I'm using like the toggle for the days, should I be going to the 31st or should I be going to the 29th?
Wait, say that one. So when you talk between the data, the delinquent agents.
Correct. Like the toggle under the NMSP grace period range. I usually
Yes.
use that toggle and then to get a collective group of people who are outstanding. Am I
Yes.
going out to the 31st or am I going out to the 29th as far as how many days that I am making sure we're in compliance, we're active for?
It would be the 29th.
The 29th. Okay,
Yep. So
thank you
you
so
just
much.
want to make sure that no agent is going to be delinquent on the 29th.
The 29th. Okay, because I was going
Yep.
out to the 31st. So that's why I was
Yep.
just trying to get a clarification. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Keismond, Cindy Hall here, Central Valley Association.
Hey, Cindy.
Hi, I have two questions.
Okay.
I put one in the chat, but I didn't see the answer. Does NAR require that all of the states make sure that their associations upload their financial data? Because we really struggle when we get agents who are like an RSCA or, where they have memberships in two states, and we can never, it's so hard to figure out like what they've already paid because there's nothing uploaded.
Yeah. So NAR does not require that.
Okay.
That's state by state. C.A.R. does require it.
Okay.
And so that's why you will see where, a member is a member out of state, but you don't see a financial record in M1.
So we can't really sometimes I get kind of hard on them and I'm like, why isn't your financial information up there? And they the local associations don't even they're not even aware that it has to be. And I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All
It's really
right.
just a state requirement.
It sure is helpful for us. So, and I
Yeah.
forgot my other question.
It is a state requirement just because the dues cover the political funds in there, so we have to report it as a state.
Yeah. Any other questions? Hey, Jesse.
Hi. Just a quick question. I know in the past, there's been issues with the NAR e-commerce side connecting the data over to the accounting department. Do you know if there's anything in the works to fix that? Because I know some of my members, like last month I had one renew late and he paid directly through NAR. But then I got an email from accounting asking me for the payment information, but the payment information was already through the system. So I'm wondering if there's any fixes in sight.
It is. And I will say our IT department is working closely with our finance team. So the next step in the process with IMIS, because we haven't fully integrated from Rapid to IMIS. Everyone has except our finance team. And so we are now going to be receiving the financial records from M1 into the IMIS system. The problem has always been Rapid connecting to IMIS, and I'm sorry, to M1, and we're not receiving all the records from M1. That included member and office record as well as the financial record. So we're hoping that this issue is going to be resolved in the next few months.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So also, if you have any non-members where the financial record is in M1, dues have already been sent, and that non-member is still showing unpaid on the BCT, just send us an email because we do want to make sure that we get those records updated in the BCT. We're going to add them to a temporary exemption. Our programmers are working on the exemption now. It's just going to be a paid exemption
And then
until we get those records processed.
just another follow-up. Do they not
Yep.
have access to the M1 system to see that there was a payment made on that record?
They
Sometimes-
do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I just haven't sat down with our finance team to even go through the process with them because I do want to see their process. I want to see what they're looking at and how they're processing the financial records. But I'm really just waiting until we're getting the financial records from M1 into IMIS, and then I can see what their process is going to be going forward.
That's good because we get sometimes multiple requests for the same financial transaction from the accounting. And it's like, no, we already sent that to you.
I mean, I'm sorry, that's not funny. It is something that has been an issue for a while, but we are working to get those issues resolved once we're pulling the financial records directly from M1 into IMIS.
Okay.
Hey, Keismond, we have questions in the chat.
Oh.
When we send emails and they are sent to our programmers, when will they be expected to be off of BCT?
So we're usually expecting those updates to take place within 24 to 48 hours. But leading up to a deadline, depending on what the issue is, we really want to get those issues resolved within 24 hours. It just depends on what the issue is. I will say if you have specifically for non-members, if you have a non-member that's paid, if you have someone that needs to be added to an exemption, we do want to make sure that those records are getting updated actually on the same day and not within 24 hours. Because I mean, if today was the deadline and we needed to make a change to a record or add someone to, an exemption, or maybe the payment record shows in M1. The association doesn't have 24 hours at that point. And so we do want to make sure that we are getting these records updated the same day leading up to a compliance deadline. And then in the future, you will see the records start to get updated regularly.
If another member joins another association in Florida and paid their annual dues with them, but the other association have not updated M1 on their end, but that member is still showing up on our BCT, what can we do to get Florida to add their dues? And what can we do if this happens again?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know for us, we had to speak with the agent to decide who they wanted to be their primary state or local association. So if they joined like Florida and Florida required them to be technically their primary, then we would communicate with the association to get that record transferred. And then we would set our association as the secondary. I don't know if that would be the same scenario.
Hi,
Yeah,
this is Jasmine from Imperial. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Hi, I asked that question just because that had happened to us last year.
Okay.
He had paid his dues he was with us for 2023.
Okay.
But for 2024 he had switched to 2025 he had switched to Florida for his primary.
Okay.
But they had not updated him in the M1 system, like his dues. So later in the year, say like March or April, I think when the first compliance deadline had come, he was still showing up as a primary under us, but we couldn't get a hold of Florida, that specific association. But now he seems to be off our BCT because they might have, updated their system or, something. But how can we or how could we get a hold of or prevent this from happening in the future? You know, say they join another association but they're still showing up on us as a primary, if you understand what.
Yep. So I do understand your question now, or the issue. So you're saying that this agent was primary with your association, but then they decided to join Florida and make Florida as their primary. But this
Yeah.
member is no longer, this member is not operating as a secondary in California under
Oh,
your.
yeah. He later, a few months later, he reactivated only with C.A.R. because he wanted the forms. So he reactivated, and then Sandra had to, you know, contact Lone Wolf to get him the forms. But you know, he's now he's off our BCT. But you know, if this happens in the future, do we just contact you guys? You know, if that was to happen with another agent.
Yes, only because you know, we just need to make sure that we're following the right steps to get the issue resolved. When it comes to secondary out-of-state members, sometimes it's there's more work required in monitoring those records.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
Yeah. Keismond, that's where we were having trouble. Like we were working with Montana yesterday trying to get an agent, like just trying to figure it out because Montana doesn't put their NAR dues. So when you put a member and
Correct.
you're
Yes,
only
that's the problem we were having.
yeah, and you're if you're only transmitting C.A.R dues to M1, then NAR wants their cut of the pie. You know, they say, oh, we see you have these many numbers of agents, so pay that fee for them. And we can't prove to NAR that they paid somewhere else because the records aren't in M1.
Yeah, it would just show that they transferred him. It wouldn't show any dues.
Right.
Updated.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yeah,
can I ask you a question? So when that happens, is NAR is NAR billing you for those agents for the non-member? I mean, for the.
no,
No, only
Oh,
C.A.R. would hit us up. You know, C.A.R.
okay.
the financial
don't-
department.
they don't
Our association.
Okay.
they don't actually bill us, Keisman, or ask us for that money because they say, oh, you have 3,200 members. Okay, so if you paid, you know, dues for 3,190, we're going to be okay with that. They
Right.
have this percentage that where they allow that. But if you had a lot of members, we probably have only like, I don't know, 8 or 10 members that are secondary in California or secondary in another state. So it's not a big issue, but it's really hard to work through that every single time we get a change because the other states don't know, like, it's like you're an alien when you ask them these questions. They don't know what to do with it. And so we end up getting a letter of good standing. We ask them very specific questions. Did they pay NAR dues? Okay. And then we know where to go with it from there, but it gets frustrating.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, and again, NAR does not like to force, you know, states or local associations to do, you know, specific things, especially when it comes to, you know, uploading financial records. There was a time for years where we didn't require the associations to upload the financial records, but once the RAA was, you know, added to the C.A.R. dues, then we started requiring the associations to upload the financial records again.
Hi, Kismena, what if the broker is primary with one of the associations and some of the agents are primary with another association? If the primary association inactivates the broker and office, will that then inactivate the agents who belong to another association?
No. Yep, the system is, I wish the system was designed to do that. That would make everybody's life easier. But when that happens, the association will have to go in and inactivate each individual record. I was mentioning before, I really want to test out what happens if the broker is inactivated and the office record that those agents are tied to are inactivated. How does that impact their records on our end? I'm not sure if, I mean, they might still have access to zip forms. I just don't know what that looks like. But the rule that we have to follow is once you inactivate the broker, the agents must be inactivated as well. That's what it really comes down to.
Okay, if I have a broker who is showing on my BCT, but is not active with our association, how do I go from this? Just go ahead and email us the name and NRDS, and we'll take a look to see why they're showing up on your BCT. They might be active with another association, and because you might be secondary, you might still also be seeing those records as well. When an agent pays dues, does it show up in M1 right away? I'm having issues with agents that have paid and they have a receipt, but M1 is not updated from other associations.
So if those members are paying dues directly through NAR's e-commerce system, it should show up automatically. I don't know if there is if it takes 24 hours for that information to show up on M1, but it should appear on there. Yeah, I think we just need to look at how those members are actually paying their dues. Where are they paying their dues? Is it through the local associations AMS system, or is it through NAR's e-commerce system? But there really shouldn't be a delay.
Yeah, if they pay it through the AMS, though, the associations do have to submit the payments by the 15th and the last day of the month. That way it can, once your AMS system pushes it, it should be reflecting on M1. Do we know if there will be an increase on dues for 2026?
That's a great question. I'm going to say yes, but we don't know what that increase is going to be. We will know what the dues are going to be for 2026 right after the fall business meetings. And so we're definitely going to send a communication out to all of the associations once that has been determined. Also, we're going to be conducting our annual dues billing training session where our legal department will cover all of that information. And so there's a ton of information that's coming right after the fall business meetings.
Those are all the questions in the chat.
Great. So I guess I'll share some information with you all. I think it's good news. I mean, we're always looking to try to make the membership staff and the AE's life a little better. So we're in the process of creating a brand new BCT system. It's a 2-year process, but we've already started the process, and so I'm really excited about that. Not just for us, but for you all as well. Also, we're looking at changing the March 31st compliance deadline to April 30th. I believe this change will also make our lives a lot easier. I think at the beginning of the year, we're all focused on collecting dues. And then at the same time, we're also trying to be compliant. And so I think moving the first compliance deadline to April 30th is a win-win for all of us. If you guys agree, please let me know. Also, we're looking at changing how the system calculates the NMSP score. We want to make sure that the NMSP score is fair, across the board. Right now, the system, if you have one NMSP that's out of compliance, you can be at 0%. And so we're looking at making the formula that calculates the NMSP score more fair across the board. So those are things that we're working on, and we are definitely looking forward to making it happen for you and for us as well. So those are the things that I'm excited about, and I hope you guys are excited about that as well.
That's really good news, Keismond, because the zero compliance score is something that always vexed me. Because if you have one, you're automatically out of whack. And if you don't know what you're looking at, unless you're intimately involved at association staff, like a lot of these professionals that are on the call now, you wouldn't know what you're looking at because it doesn't, the math doesn't necessarily work. Furthermore, with respect to the dates, I'm glad you guys have some agility to pick some dates that make a little bit more sense as opposed to stay on the stagnant dates of March 31st, August 31st, November 31st, and pick some dates where we can both work together during the course of the week leading up to when you capture our picture with your compliance score so that we can all be in compliance and work together collectively. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that feedback. All right, are there any more questions? No other questions?
None in the chat.
All right, well, I just want to say thank you for your time. If you have any questions after this Zoom is over, please feel free to reach out to us. We are available to assist you, and we will talk to you soon. And I hope everyone has a great day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Keith.
We'll be sending the recording as well in case you would like to rewatch it. If you have any questions, we'll also send out the presentation that Keismond went over. And this is not compliance, but you should have received my email yesterday. The HML deadline is on the September 5th. Don't wait until September 5th to submit the applications if you can. And then once we get closer to the deadline, of course, we'll run a report and share those names with you to make sure that those names match what your records and our records.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.